Welcome to Spiritual Psychology. My name's Renee McKenna, and I bring my 30-plus years as a recovering addict and ex-crazy person turned therapist and shamanic healer to bring you snackable teachings on spirituality, psychology, and all things personal growth. And today I want to talk about the idea that connection is the opposite of addiction. And when we think about connection, many of us may think about a lover, or maybe a best friend, or people we feel connected to at work, in our families, or in our neighborhood. And if you're lucky enough to have a spiritual or personal growth community, then you know the incredible benefits of those connections as well. But from what I can see, most of us are under-connected. And for most humans, even if you're an introvert and really enjoy your solitude, we need a multiplicity of connections in order to be healthy and fully nourished in our lives. Although the changes of modern life have happened very quickly, our biology and our psychology have not adapted to the isolation many of us experience. And because it's so normal to be disconnected, most of us don't even realize what we're missing. It's much harder to notice something that's missing, that's never been there, than if we lose something that we already had. But humans are social creatures, and our most natural lifestyle is to live in a village. And the advances of modern life, like stores and running water, electricity, having food prepared for us, even delivered to us, they've removed the more natural connections that happened for hundreds of thousands of years when humans had to carry water, hunt and gather, cook and prepare their own food, and really rely on each other for expertise of others or even of a group to be able to thrive and survive. And so we have to put a little more effort into getting connected now, to be more intentional about it, but it is absolutely worth the effort. In Buddhism, there's a triad of human needs. That's the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And the Buddha is the spiritual connection with Source. The Dharma is the principles that we live by. And the Sangha is the community of support. And they all work together to support and guide and sustain us in the possibilities of not just surviving, but thriving. And we live in a plane of duality here on the earth density, and almost all things have a light side and a shadow side. Opportunities for growth and evolution, and conversely, opportunities for waste and entropy and destruction or devolution. And the good news is we have free will that can allow us to decide, if we're living consciously, which direction we're leaning into. Positive or negative, constructive or destructive. And if you're feeling stuck, even though it might look like neutral, everything is always in motion, and stuck falls in the destructive end that's creating waste and entropy. Now, that's different than a pause or a rest, and one of the values of being connected with others is that they can reflect back to us or model for us what's healthy or unhealthy in a human life, in our own life. And when we're disconnected and isolated, it's very easy to fall into self-justification, delusion, or denial. We're either going with the life flow that's usually fulfilling, joy-producing, and challenging, because healthy challenge keeps us strong and resilient, or we're resisting the flow and in fear, anxiety, depression, disappointment, frustration, and addiction. And addiction, from my experience, is a way to just numb out the whole thing, to distract or deny or delude myself and disconnect from my own deeper truth or the evolving path that the life force is always calling me toward. Because the universe does have our highest good in mind. Everything is evolving, including us, which means we need to be open to change, both internally and externally, when change is called for. And that can be hard, can be scary, can be fun and exciting, depending on where we're at. But it's much easier to go with the flow when we're connected. And so to that end, I am thrilled to announce that I've created an open door community for you guys to be able to connect with other compassionate, amazing, interesting, like-minded seekers actually around the world. And I'm starting the community on Patreon, and I have a series of monthly groups. At this point, they're going to be happening on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with a different group focus each week to connect and support you on your own personal soul journey. So starting Wednesday, July 10th, there'll be a goals and visions group, help you discover and clarify your own goals and visions in any particular area or in your life as a whole. On Wednesday, July 17th, there'll be an ongoing personal growth, healing, and empowerment group working through the processes of spiritual psychology and my allies and demons working with Spirit Book. Wednesday, July 24th will be the return of our spiritual experience groups, which are a time to practice inner journey work and connecting with source or your own higher self using the ancient practice of the shamanic journey. And Wednesday, July 31st, we'll have our first creative co-working group. I'm working on a screenplay. I have friends that want to practice their guitar or do some artwork or other creativity, and this is a time to come together. We'll have a little check-in about what we're working on and then actually have what's called co-working time, where we'll shut off our video and audio and just do our own work and then have a little check-in again at the end. Very effective way to actually do projects that you may be challenged to do by yourself. Co-working has become a major way that I get things done because accountability really helps. And in all of these different groups and in this growing community, there are going to be opportunities to connect with each other or in small groups. I'm going to encourage accountability partnerships and also see what you guys have to offer back into the community. And these are all going to be ongoing groups on Zoom. And so click the link in the show notes below to learn more, to subscribe and join the growing and vibrant open door growth community. You can also feel free to shoot me an email, info@reneemckenna.com, and I'm happy to tell you more. And I know the incredible value of community in my own life, and I've been praying about this for years and years, and now it's time to create a container for genuine, helpful, authentic community connection. And I'm super excited to benefit from it myself and to share my 35 plus years of experience benefiting from spiritual and 12-step communities. And my personal mission, the passion of my life, is to bring the work and experiences that have so transformed and healed my own life to as many as need it. And I've really come to believe that our work as humans is to evolve into the best versions of ourselves, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, that we're part of a larger whole, and our personal growth and evolution benefits everyone in our lives, the planet and humanity as a whole. And being involved in a healthy community, in a sangha, is an intrinsic part of that growing evolutionary process. And so I was saying the plane of duality that we live on, the light and darkness of the modern information age, lives in technology. And many of us are technology addicts, distracted, endlessly consuming information, being perpetually entertained. And technology can easily disconnect us, even when we're sitting next to people. You'll see us all looking at our phones rather than looking at each other. But the beautiful and inspiring thing about technology, the opportunities that it provides, is this incredible ability to connect with like-minded people worldwide at the touch of a button. We are no longer limited by our geography or by the village that we happened to grow up in. And so we have this ability and, again, opportunity to create levels of connection that have never been possible before. And that is my great hope for the Open Door Growth community. So again, I hope you'll join and check it out. But what happens when we are disconnected? We become isolated, depressed, anxious, and these are symptoms of our modern dis-ease. And dis-ease creates disease. and the diseases of addiction, anxiety, and depression are rampant. And I believe one of the central causes of these dysfunctions is disconnection. Disconnection from ourselves, disconnection from source, and disconnection from others. And where connection creates health, disconnection creates suffering and disease. And we can fill in that gap of suffering with drugs and alcohol, with food, with shopping, with overworking, with obsessive relationships or compulsive sexuality. Most of those things medicate this deeper existential suffering rather than treating the root cause. And I know for myself that my alcoholism, my drug addiction, my eating disorders, my codependency, and sexual compulsions, they were all seeking relief and connection. But I was feeding my body, trying to shut up my brain or distract myself from my feelings rather than nourishing my soul, which was really what was suffering. An authentic connection is rooted in principles like honesty and openness, love and service, compassion and selflessness. And we need to be connected in order to grow in those ways. And I saw this great little clip on social media recently that I am quite sure is true. If you put a rat in a cage with a bottle of plain water and a bottle of water laced with heroin, the rat will drink the heroin water until it becomes addicted and it dies. But if you have a rat in a cage with a bunch of other rats and there's a healthy community, and you put a bottle of plain water and a bottle of heroin water, they will drink the healthy water instead. And so I encourage you to get connected in healthy community and give yourself the gift of connection. And again, you can click the link in the show notes to join the Open Door Growth community, and I hope you will. Or you can open yourself to find the community that is calling to you and would benefit from your participation in it in whatever ways are presenting themselves in your life right now. And if you're already part of a healthy community, then I encourage you to invite others to join, because it is through connection that we thrive. Thank you so much for listening. Blessings on your path until we meet again. This is Renee McKenna for Spiritual Psychology.